Valve just uploaded 8 videos related to the Steam frame onto Steam. And because Steam is basically open where you can access this stuff, SteamDB was able to find those and download them. They uploaded them to their Discord server, which then got forwarded to the Handhelds GG Discord server, which then got forwarded to my Discord server by DW. Thanks for the tip, DW. I figured what I would do is I haven't watched these yet. I just downloaded them and I'm going to hit play and we're going to take a look at exactly what it is that Valve is uploading. Now, one thing that you might notice about this is you can see that this is not 16:9. This is not something that you would see on YouTube. I'm wondering if this is something that you would see when you're wearing the Steam frame itself, because it seems like that's probably the aspect ratio of each of the 2 lenses that are going over or screens that are going in front of your eyes. And that's why these videos are a weird shape, but maybe I'm wrong about that. All right, this first one is called unboxing, and so it'll show us exactly what it looks like when you unbox your Steam frame, which I assume is coming very, very soon. Your money isn't going as far as it used to. Paying full price for games isn't something that you have to do. This is Eneba.com, a massive gaming marketplace with over 40,000 products, including game keys, gift cards, and more. Games that go for $60 to $70 on Steam, you can find for way cheaper on Eneba. For example, Resident Evil Village is currently $40 on Steam, but on Eneba, you can get it for $5.19. And Eneba isn't just limited to Steam games. You can also get Xbox Game Pass, PS Plus, and Steam wallet cards as well. If it's digital, Eneba has it for less. They use verified sellers and have an excellent Trustpilot rating. When you buy Eneba, your code lands in your email just a few minutes later. Plus, they do cashback on lots of orders so that you can save even more. So if you want to pay less for games, check out the link in the description or pinned in the comments. If you use that link, you're going to be supporting the channel and saving money at the same time. Now, back to the episode.
Hey there! These videos will step you through everything you need to know to get up and running with your new Steam frame. Let's start with something simple: opening the box. Inside the box, you'll find a Steam frame headset, a pair of controllers, an eye relief spacer, particularly useful if you wear glasses.
I like that they're not selling the eye relief spacer separately. As somebody who does wear glasses, I've never actually had a VR headset. I've only had one VR headset. That was the PSVR 2. And I don't believe it came with a spacer. So I just never used my glasses for it, which meant everything was always just a little bit blurry. So it's nice that they have that with the base package.
A wireless adapter, which will ensure a great experience for streaming games from your PC, an information booklet, and a USB-C cable. The headset ships in a power-saving mode. To get things set up for the first time, you will need to use the supplied USB cable to plug the headset into a power source.
This is a lot like the Steam Machine, typically, or not Steam Machine, Steam Deck. Whenever I know that I'm not going to use my Steam Deck for a really long time, typically what I will do is I will put it into low power battery saving mode, and that way it's shut off. But then when you pick it up and you go to turn it on the next time, it doesn't turn on unless you plug it in for the first time. This is also what will happen if the Steam Deck runs out of battery at some point. You just have to plug it in when you go to turn it on again. Or if you unplug the battery, like when I took apart my entire Steam Deck and then rebuilt it in a different shell. Because I had disconnected the battery, that meant that I had to plug it in order for it to work again. And that seems like what they're doing here with this.
Next, hold the power button down until the LED turns white. Press the Steam buttons to turn on your VR controllers. Now, you can unplug the headset and continue getting things set up. To learn more about your Steam frame, visit this link.
All right, let's take a look at the next video.
Time to mount your new headset onto your head. Most people prefer to put it on eyes first.
This is a really weird way to say that. Mount it on your head. Weird.
Especially if you wear glasses. Avoid your ears by wearing the rear strap a little high. Then, tighten to taste by pulling on the side straps.
I will say the side straps that they have on this, I mean, obviously I haven't put it on my head. I can't tell you if it's comfortable or uncomfortable, but I really liked on the PSVR 2, there was a dial on the back. So you would put it on and then you could twist that dial and it would just tighten everything up. So it felt like it was not going to move. These kind of straps, I feel like they're not going to last very long. Like eventually their stretchiness will, or not stretchiness, their elasticity will start to wear over time and you'll have to keep making them tighter and tighter. I don't like the strap that they have on the back here, but that's again just a guess based on its looks. I very much do prefer how they did it on the PSVR 2.
Additionally, adjusting the pivot arms at the front lets you further tune the fit for maximum comfort, evenly distributing the pressure on your face.
Although I will say that I watched Linus Tech Tips video when he was talking about his hands-on time with the Steam frame, and he said it was incredibly comfortable. So we'll see how it goes.
If your glasses don't quite fit or your eyes feel too close to the lens, you may want to try the spacer. The magnets make it super easy to install. Just remove the face gasket, insert the spacer, then put the face gasket back on. With that
That's really
said,
cool.
It's your Steam frame. You should wear it any way you want. These are all wrong, but we can't legally stop you. To learn more about your Steam,
All right, let's take a look at the next video. All right, this one's called IPD adjustment.
this wheel, what we call the IPD wheel, lets you adjust the spacing between the lenses until the picture you see through them looks good. What does good mean? Well, it's a subjective mix of focus, sharpness, and overall optical comfort. You'll know it when you see it. Once you've found a setting you like, you can use the IPD lock to keep the lenses in that position for future sessions.
Okay, so real quick, I want to talk about this. Again, I'm making a comparison to the only VR headset that I've used, the PSVR 2. And when I got that, there was one thing that I really liked, and there's no reason why Valve couldn't do this as well. Because the PSVR 2 has dedicated eye tracking, so they have foveated rendering, essentially. But because it has dedicated eye tracking, it knows where your eyes are. It knows exactly where your pupils are. And while it's fine for them to say, well, you get to decide how, what looks good and doesn't look good for you, I really liked the assist that came with the PSVR 2, basically because of the eye trackers. As you move the lenses back and forth, it would tell you, hey, they're probably, based on where we are looking at your eyes and where the lenses are, we know that you need to move the lenses in towards your nose more, basically. And so you could adjust, I think it was on the top right, you could adjust it that way, but it gave you a graphical setting in the actual headset that you could see to show where your eyeballs were in relation to the lenses. Now, the Steam frame also has not foveated rendering, but foveated, gosh, what was it? It's foveated streaming, where they're going to put more bandwidth towards streaming the video from your Steam machine or your dedicated PC to your headset based on where you're looking. So if you're looking at this certain spot on the screen, they're going to send more bandwidth, more bit rate to that spot on the screen, and the rest of the screen won't get as much bit rate. This means that the things at the edges of your vision that you're not actually looking at will be blurrier, but you're not going to notice. Linus Tech Tips, when he did his hands-on with the Steam frame, he said it was perfect and you could not see the issues that the lower bit rate areas, because as soon as you look at them, the system ramps up the bit rate in that location and basically makes it so there's less artifacting. And I can attest that it works really good with foveated rendering on the PSVR 2, because you cannot, they do the same thing where they spend more processing power rendering the spots where you're looking than they do the spots where you're not looking. All right, let's take a look at the next video. This one's called Sign In.
Steam Frame requires a Steam account to use. If you don't already have an account, you can create one for free on your PC or mobile device.
All right. Now, there's going to be people who are upset by the idea of the Steam frame requiring a Steam account to use. There's always people who are upset about, let's say, Sony requiring you to have a PlayStation account in order to play one of their games. I have no problem with Sony requiring a PlayStation account when I'm playing one of their games on their hardware. That doesn't bother me. It's when it navigates off of their hardware and they force me to do it outside of the PlayStation ecosystem so that they can collect my email address or, show to their shareholders that look at how many email addresses that of people who are liking our stuff, that kind of thing. That's when I don't like it. Is it a big deal? Absolutely not. It's not a big deal for me to have to sign into the PlayStation account in order to play a PlayStation game, but I don't like it. And based on that, I think a lot of people would expect that I should not like this. Well, you're on their hardware, so I think it's okay. Now, let's say that a VR game gets released for Steam Frame, although I don't think that they're going to have exclusives, but let's just pretend for a second that they did. A VR game gets released for Steam Frame, and you can only play it on Steam Frame, and you have to have a Steam account. That's awesome. But then later they port it to PlayStation, and then Valve asks you to sign in to your Valve account in order to play this game on your PlayStation VR 2. That would bother me. So I definitely understand people not being happy about it being tied to an account, but I think it's okay because it's their hardware.
There are a few ways to sign into your headset, but first, we recommend setting up the Steam mobile app on your mobile device. To sign in
which I do recommend that. It's a really good app and it makes it super easy to sign in on stuff. I'm constantly trying new hardware and it just pops up a QR code on the screen. I grab my phone, bam, bam, boom, you're done and you're in.
Wirelessly in your headset, click on Add an Account. Then, in the mobile app, click on the Steam Guard tab. Select the gear icon, then sign into a Steam frame. This is by far the easiest, most fun way to...
All right, that's really cool. That's way better than I thought that they would have to do, where you would have to use the little laser pointers to type in all of your information to get signed in. If you're on the same network, you should be good. That's awesome. Because you obviously can't scan a QR code because the VR headset doesn't have a display that can show a VR code or a QR code to your phone.
Get in. To sign in via a QR code, under More Options, select Scan QR Code. Then, in the mobile app, tap on the Steam Guard tab and hold your camera close to the lens until it sees the code.
This is how I figured you would have to do it. I didn't think it would work, though.
To be honest, this is a weird way to sign in, but it does work. Lastly, you can sign in the old-fashioned way by manually entering your name and password on the virtual keyboard in the headset. Clunky, but historically accurate.
All right, this one's called Wireless Adapter.
Steam Frame includes a wireless adapter to provide the best quality streaming from your Steam machine or VR-compatible PC. To set up wireless streaming, log into the same Steam account on both your headset and your PC. Plug your wireless adapter into the PC, and Steam will guide you through pairing your devices and installing Steam VR.
I really like that they are showing this on some random laptop instead of on the Steam machine, because I think there's a lot of people who will think that in order to use the Steam frame, you have to have a Steam machine, and that's just not true.
Once this is done, VR streaming will automatically utilize the dedicated adapter link or your local Wi-Fi network, or both at the same time, like one supercharged connection. Games that are available for streaming will appear in your headset Steam library. Click Stream to play them wirelessly.
All right, this next one is called Ergonomic Accessories.
In VR, better comfort improves immersion. That's why we created the Ergonomic Accessories Kit. It contains a set of 3 comfort-focused attachments: controller hand straps, a top head strap, and an extended light blocker. The hand straps, as the name implies, keep your controllers strapped to your hands. Useful for people who like to really immerse their hands in the action or just relax them between intense bouts of gripping.
You know, I will say, as I played my PSVR 2, they don't have those hand straps. And there were definitely times where I thought to myself, this would be easier if I could let go for a second. But if I let go for a second, then it falls. And then you've got this strap hanging from your wrist that you have to kind of try and grab it from. So I like that they have the ability to do that. I wonder how much this extra accessories kit is going to cost. Hopefully it's not too expensive, because the stuff that's in it doesn't look like it's high cost goods, if that makes sense.
The top head strap improves weight distribution and provides extra headset stability.
Yeah, I'm definitely, if I get I say if, I'm likely going to get a Steam frame. I probably won't get a review unit. They didn't give me a review unit for the Steam machine. I'll probably end up getting this, and if I do, I'm definitely going to get the top head strap, because just having the strap around the outside, I've heard nothing but bad things about that experience from people who use VR on the regular. They always recommend that you get a top head strap instead, but that doesn't look good when you are making marketing materials. And so I think Valve did what every VR company is doing, where they make a head strap that looks good, but then they sell the thing that is actually comfortable separately later, which kind of lame, but okay. Now, one thing I will notice about this that I like is the head strap doesn't go all the way back. It goes about halfway back and then splits into two. That looks like it's going to have a lot of tension to pull the headset up, so it's not pulling down so far on your head. That looks like it's going to be pretty comfortable.
It's great for games that require a lot of moving and head bobbing. Finally, while the standard light blocker that comes packaged with the Steam frame works for the majority of people, there can be some light bleed for users with small noses. Just more bad news for people with small noses? No. In fact, the opposite. The extended light blocker has these longer flaps that help seal the area between the frame and your tiny nose.
Okay, so I don't know if my nose is big or small. I'm assuming I have a big nose, but when you are looking at this, boy, that looks like it's going to be really uncomfortable, like just sitting on your face, having those extra little things. But at the same time, that trade-off is there between, do I want to have a completely sealed environment, or do I want to have more comfort? And my guess is I probably am not going to want to have this extra light blocker, because I don't think that this is an OLED display. So things aren't going to look perfectly pitch black anyway. I think that maybe this is something that I'll pass on, but we'll see once I get it, if it's comfortable or not.
We understand this sounds like a joke, but it's a real problem that the extended light blocker solves.
All right, next one is called installing controller hand strap.
Let's start with the right hand strap. Grab your controller and remove the battery door. Next.
Okay, first off, I love that there's a button to open up the battery door. My son has a MetaQuest 3, and anytime he needs the batteries changed, he always struggles to get the cover off so that we can get to the batteries of the controllers for his MetaQuest 3. And then he brings it to me, and I struggle to get that off as well. Having a button to release that is awesome.
Next, untie and remove the lanyard. Now, take the new right-hand strap and replacement door. The bottom buckle aligns perfectly with the groove at the base of the controller. Press it firmly into place, then rotate it clockwise by 90 degrees until you hear a click.
Oh, okay.
Next, feed the upper strap through one of the mounting slots. Use the upper slot for smaller hands, or the lower slot if you have bigger hands and want a roomier fit. Secure the strap using the Velcro fastener. Then, flip the controller door over and slide it back into place until it clicks.
All right, that's actually really well done. I thought that they were going to have like just a string on the outside. That looks really well done.
Finally, slide your hand through the strap and tighten it until it feels secure. Comfortable, but locked in for gameplay.
Now, anybody who had the Valve Index, please let me know in the comments down below, that like button, if this is the same thing that they did with, I think they're called Knuckles, if they did the same thing on that, or if this is a different design, because I know that these controllers are different than the controllers that are on the Index.
Now, simply repeat the exact same steps for the left-hand side controller, but mirrored.
And the next one is called installing the head strap.
To install the top strap and light blocker, start by removing the face gasket. Then, locate the 3 release latches on the headset. The first is positioned at the top, near the forehead area. The other 2 are located near the bottom, around the cheekbone area. Slide each latch fully inward until the red mark becomes visible.
Oh, okay.
Then, gently separate the headset core module. Now, remove the current light blocker and replace it with your new one. Once installed, reattach the headset core module. Don't forget to lock
This actually looks pretty damn easy.
all 3 latches back into place. You'll know they're locked when the red marks completely disappear. Next, grab the top strap buckle and slide it into the notch at the top of the headset. Then, rock it toward you until you hear a click. Finally, open one of the rear side guides and fit it over the back section of the head strap. Repeat the same step on the opposite side.
Now, that's the last video, but we do have one more piece of information that I want to talk about real quick. But before I get there, I have a quick question for you. What do you guys think of the videos that Valve showed here, or didn't show? They uploaded and then somebody else shared them. But what do you guys think about those videos? Do you think that these are intended to be viewed on the Steam frame, and that's why they're a weird aspect ratio? And are you interested in getting a Steam frame? Obviously, depending on the price. Now, let's get back to more information, because we saw something else that came out today, and that is the Steam Frame ARM64 compatibility list, or compat list. And I found this over at steamdb.info. Again, this came originally from who posted this in my community Discord. That would be the ROM3 posted this in my Discord. Join the Discord, link down below if you haven't. Taking a look at this, there's very little information here other than it was posted today as I record this. So it actually just came out today, and we can't see any information on this, but my guess is what we're looking at here is where we're going to see a list of games that are compatible with the Steam frame. Now, you might wonder, well, why aren't all games going to be compatible with the Steam frame? Shouldn't everything be compatible? The Steam frame runs on ARM. Most gaming is not on ARM. Most gaming is on like x86, and basically Valve is doing the same thing that they did with Proton in order to get Proton to be the translation layer for games that are made for Windows to make them playable on Linux. Now, the big difference is no emulation is actually happening there with Proton in that case. In this case, emulation is happening, and the reason the emulation is happening is because we're not just doing a different operating system, we're doing a completely different architecture. Most games are made with x86 chipsets in mind. The Steam frame is an ARM chipset. The big thing about ARM chipsets is that they're super efficient and really, really good at sipping battery life instead of just powering through and chugging on your battery. So I totally get why Valve decided to go with ARM for the Steam frame, but that means that they have to then solve that problem of translating the games from x86 over to ARM, and that's what this list is going to be for, although right now it's completely empty. If I click on packages, it doesn't say anything in there. If I look in depots, it doesn't say anything in there that's useful. Can I click on this? Yeah, there's nothing there either. So we don't know what this is, but it's one more piece of information that shows that the Steam frame is right around the corner. Valve did say that the Steam machine, Steam controller, and Steam frame would all be released this year, and it looks like they are on track to do that. I was thinking probably October, but I'm starting to think maybe September would be when they start releasing this. And if so, Man, I really don't want to spend the money right now. How much do you guys think it's going to be? Let me know in the comments section down below that like button. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. From the Nerd Nest, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching. Stay rad, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.